What's up everyone and welcome back to the MMA Zone. Today, let's get started with Sean O'Malley fires back at the MMA community. When Dana White and the UFC announced that Sugar Sean O'Malley and Merab Dvalishvili would be running it back in the main event of UFC 316, many fans questioned why O'Malley deserved an immediate rematch when he had only defended the belt once. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. While O'Malley's been focusing on his training rather than his online presence, he's seen the complaints, and on Monday's episode of the Ariel Helwani show, the former champion sent a message to fans who don't want to see him fight for the belt. Don't watch. Saturday night, June 7th, watch your reality TV show. Don't watch the fight I do. Understand where they're coming from. 100%. My last fight, I don't think a lot of people went and rewatched it. It's not one of those fights that's super worth rewatching, unless I do think the second time watching it, it's a little bit closer than the first time you watched it live, but I don't think many people rewatched it or were interested in rewatching it. Their opinion is going to kind of just stay the same. But again, if they're not interested, don't watch it, but when I go out there and win, I guarantee people are going to go and rewatch. O'Malley also spoke about how the rematch came to be, revealing that he had told the UFC he was interested in a rematch, but outside of that, there wasn't much of a back and forth when it came to negotiating his next fight. I'm very grateful for the UFC giving me the rematch. It wasn't even I wanted the belt back, I wanted Merab. I wanted that fight back. I had to wait 3.5 years to prove that the first Cheeto fight wasn't the way it was supposed to play out. This one, I didn't have to wait nearly as long, but I'm excited to go out there and do something similar in the rematch with Merab. After undergoing hip surgery, O'Malley's excited to be heading into this rematch at 100%. While speaking with Ariel Helwani, the former champion said that he was embarrassed by his grappling in the first fight, and he's doing everything he can to make sure he does not have a repeat performance. I literally grappled more today than I did that entire last camp. I know I can wrestle better than I showed in that last fight. That was borderline embarrassing. With the chance to reclaim his spot atop the division, the stakes couldn't be higher for the former champion heading into UFC 316 this summer. Carlos Prates talks about Garry fight. After his UFC 314 fight with Jeff Neal was canceled, Carlos Prates wound up being shifted from this weekend's card to the Fight Night Kansas City card later in the month. Now, instead of fighting Neal, who is ranked 10th at 170, Prates is heading into the upcoming KCMO card ranked 13th. Will have a chance to fight up in the rankings against number 7 ranked Garry, who's fresh off a decision loss to Shavkat Rakhmonov in a title eliminator. During an appearance on the Ariel Helwani show on Monday, Prates spoke about the short notice scrap against Garry, revealing that prior to Garry agreeing to step in, Kevin Holland actually accepted a short notice offer to throw down. When Garry signed with the UFC, I saw he's really good. It's crazy to see his first fights in the UFC. I said, oh, the guy's really good. He's probably going to be a champ. And now I've changed my opinion a little bit, but it's crazy to see that 2 years ago I was talking about that guy and now I'm fighting him. Prates also spoke about his cigarette habit, saying that he's been abstaining from alcohol for 2 months, but ahead of his 5-round main event, he's still smoking 8 to 10 cigarettes a day. I'm trying to smoke a little bit less, not because I'm gonna fight, but because I'm trying to get heavier and stronger. I stay without drinking maybe 2 months because I don't go party. I don't go anywhere, just training. It's not difficult to be far away from drink, but it's difficult to stay far away from party. Because he's not drinking, Prates said that he's not been going to parties at all. With fight night rapidly approaching, it'll be interesting to see if it pays off. Paddy Pimblett wants to fight Oliveira or Gaethje after UFC 314. This weekend, Paddy the Baddy will have a chance to pick up the biggest win of his career when he faces off against Michael Chandler. Although Paddy's only ranked 12th, given that Michael Chandler is heading into Saturday's fight ranked 7th, the Baddy's optimistic that a win will put him just outside of title contention. With fight week underway, the streaking Scouser spoke in an interview with UFC Europe about how a win over Chandler will open up the door to fight with top-ranked fighters like Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, and Arman Tsarukyan. I think once I finish Michael Chandler, I'm only gonna need one more fight. I'm thinking like Arman, Charles, or Gaethje, someone like that. Beat a top 5 and I'll be able to demand a title shot in 2026. Of course, after sitting out and waiting for a fight with Conor McGregor and then losing to Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler's heading into this weekend's fight as hungry as ever. The way Henry Cejudo sees things, however, the Chandler-Pimblett fight has all the makings of an upset. During the latest episode of he and Kamaru Usman's Pound for Pound show, Triple C shared his thoughts on the fight, giving Paddy his flowers. I'm smelling an upset. He's a lot better than what I thought. We gotta put some respect on that dude's name. He's only gotten better, and a win over Michael Chandler puts him in a very good position. While we know Michael Chandler is planning to call Conor McGregor out post-fight, only time will tell which of the top 155ers the Baddy will call out with a win. Jon Jones will beat Tom Aspinall? Although Dana White and Tom Aspinall have both expressed optimism about a title unification fight at heavyweight between Aspinall and Jon Jones, nothing has been set in stone yet. Considering Bones is allegedly looking for a 6-month training camp for this fight, if the fight does actually wind up finalized, the question then becomes whether the two will throw down before the end of the year. While many members of the MMA community believe that Aspinall's combination of his size, skills, and athleticism will be a nightmare matchup for Jones, Paddy the Baddy just can't bring himself to pick against Jones. During an appearance on the Full Send podcast, the Streaking Scouser spoke about the situation, saying that even though he's friends with Aspinall, Jones's body of work is just too impressive to overlook.
I'll be honest, Tom's a friend. I love Tom. He's one of the coolest dudes in the whole of MMA. Even though Jones is getting old, I just can't pick against Jon Jones. I've been watching Jon Jones, as I say, since 2010. I can remember watching when he got DQ'd against Matt Hamill live. He's got proper longevity, and the one thing I do think Jon Jones has got the best in the world and the best ever is his fight IQ. He game plans to beat people, and he doesn't fight the same way every fight. He has a perfect game plan to beat that person. And as much as I love Tom and I want Tom to win, I couldn't pick against Jon Jones. It's just something I couldn't do.
With the MMA world torn on whether or not they think the fight will actually happen, we'll just have to wait and see how things play out. UFC fight updates. On the heels of this weekend's Emmett Murphy card, let's take a look at today's UFC fight updates, starting with a new addition to the UFC Vegas 106 card on May 17th. According to reports, Mattel's Camilo is set to throw down with Gabe Green, with Camilo riding a 6-fight win streak into his UFC debut, and Green looking to return to action after a lengthy hiatus following a first-round loss to Brian Battle. Next up, we got a fight between Cody Durden and Jose Ochoa, set for the UFC Fight Night Atlanta card on June 14th. The fight will see Durden look to bounce back from a loss to Joshua Van back in December. Meanwhile, Ochoa will look to bounce back from a loss to Loner Kavanaugh in his UFC debut. Just a few weeks after the UFC Fight Night Atlanta card, Jonata Denise and Justin Tafa will throw down on the UFC 317 card to wrap up the month. The fight will see Denise look to bounce back from the first loss of his career at the hands of Marcin Tibura, while on the flip side, Tafa will look to snap a 2-fight losing streak that most recently saw him get finished by Taliesin Teixeira back in February. And lastly, the UFC Mexico City bout between Kelvin Gastelum and Joe Pyfer has been rebooked for the Dvalishvili O'Malley card in Newark, New Jersey on June 7th. Alexandre Pantoja fighting at UFC 317? It's no secret that the International Fight Week card of the UFC is consistently one of, if not the single biggest weekends of the year for the UFC. On top of the Fan Expo, the promotion usually pulls out all the stops when it comes to booking a star-studded event. While fans are anxiously awaiting news on a potential Jon Jones-Tom Aspinall fight, Islam Makhachev-Ilia Topuria fight, or a potential DDP Khamzat Chimaev fight, Alexandre Pantoja revealed in an AG Fight article that he's looking to defend his title on the International Fight Week card. I was supposed to fight in Miami in April, but they took me off the card. They preferred to move me towards the middle of the year. I believe I'll be fighting by the end of June, during International Fight Week. That's what we're aiming for. While it sounds like nothing's official yet, the news notably comes on the heels of Kai Kara-France revealing last week that he's 12 weeks out from his upcoming fight. At the time, we reported in our April 2nd video that Kai Kara-France had potentially leaked his next fight. However, with Pantoja now talking about a return on the International Fight Week card, it looks like Kai Kara-France might not have leaked just any fight, but a title fight on the biggest card of the year. Michael Chandler gets warned before UFC 314. When Michael Chandler made his highly anticipated UFC debut a few years ago, he quickly put the UFC on notice with a first-round win over Dan Hooker. Since then, Chandler struggled to find the same level of success. Over the 5 fights that have followed, the former Bellator champ's gone just 1-4. With his lone win being a highlight reel knockout over Tony Ferguson. The way Michael Bisping sees things, when Chandler and Paddy Pimblett shared the octagon this weekend, it's time for him to put up or shut up. During a video for his YouTube channel, the former middleweight champion weighed in. Put up or shut up, mainly for Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler has spoken about being champ. Of course, he's thrilled audiences. He's provided excitement. He's fought nothing but the best of the best in the division, gone up against the likes of Dustin Poirier, Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje. He's had really fun fights. However, he's been losing. He has lost 4 of his 6 fights in the UFC. He's lost 4 of his last 5, so now he needs a win. While Chandler is heading into this weekend's fight looking to make a statement, Paddy Pimblett revealed in the first episode of the UFC 314 embedded series that he thinks he's part of the new era of lightweights whose time to shine is now. He wants to make a statement and show he's still one of the top lightweights, but I'm not going to let him. I'm going to show everyone that I'm one of the top lightweights, and the old guard is getting replaced with the new guard, and I'm coming to take this belt. Although we've seen fighters like Dustin Poirier make it clear that the old guard isn't going anywhere quite yet, there's no telling how things will play out this Saturday. Arman Tsarukyan fires back at Paddy Pimblett. We reported yesterday that Paddy Pimblett went off on Arman Tsarukyan during the Full Send podcast, saying Arman got everything handed to him and he was scared to fight Islam Makhachev.
He's just a little posh boy who's had everything handed to him on a silver platter by his dad.
Do you think he actually got injured or no? Or what do you think happened?
No, he's a little That's what you are, Arman, little boy. And then he was doing them videos where he flips forward on his neck.
Right.
And then he's saying that he's got a bad back. Dana said, didn't he? It was like Dana shot him down in that interview. I was like, whoa, that's heavy, that. You don't want the boss saying that about you. But because he got asked, didn't he, is Arman still number one?
Right.
And he was like, no.
Right.
He's going to have to go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
He basically said that like doctors come out and Heather, the best masseuse in the PI, come out and they never said to him, you can't fight. He decided he's not going to fight. So basically, Arman, you your pants, know what I mean? That's what you did. You farted and followed through.
Arman saw the clip on social media and fired back at Paddy by saying, says the guy who got the easiest path to the top in the UFC just because he got a funny accent and budget Beatles haircut. I dare you to call me out if you win, and we'll see who will his pants in the octagon when we meet clown Paddy the Batty. Mattel's Gamrot reacted to Arman's comments by saying, stop looking for easy fights, especially with the clown. Without ambition, you will never be a champion. You got a chance to get revenge, so accept it. Fighters almost got robbed before UFC 314 fight. UFC fighters Norma Dumont and Marco Tulio were almost robbed in Sao Paulo before Marcos' fight at UFC 314 this weekend. And before we continue, we have a favor to ask. Help us reach 200,000 subscribers on MMA Zone by subscribing and turning on notifications for daily MMA content. Seriously, we rarely miss a day. The thief tried to smash the window of the car they were driving in to take Marcos' phone, but was not successful and almost got himself a whooping from a UFC fighter. Apparently, after the window was smashed, Marco and Norma drove off instead of confronting the thief, which was probably for the best considering Marco Tulio has a fight on the prelims of UFC 314 against Tresean Gore, and he would risk injury if he had confronted the person who tried to steal his phone.
Bora pra luta de sábado agora em Miami do Matuto e tava tranquilo.
Até então, o Fight Week começou.
Tá lá, ó. Tentaram roubar, tentaram levar o celular dele, quebraram o vidro ali. Mas olha lá, ó. Levou não.
O celular tá na mão, ó. Deu certo não.
Quase levou uma surra ainda.
E a vontade de bater em alguém só aumentou agora.
Isso aí, São Paulo é sério.
Vai pagar.
Mas não levou não, e deu sorte. Se o Matuto consegue puxar ele pra dentro do carro, ia ser muito pior.
Alguém vai pagar por